Test, test, test. All right, there we go there. And I'm on the screen. And it sounds like I can be heard. All right, so we're good. No, we're not quite. Oh God. Yeah, it's been a long day. I know I've mentioned my kids before. I've got 3 of them, a 6-year-old and twin 4s, and okay, I can hear myself. There we go, all better. Um, so one of the twins has been throwing up since about 5. So that's been my afternoon / evening. When I put myself down as going live at 10:30, that was kind of a decision point whether or not I was going to cancel because he was still up, or I was going to push it back to 10:30 my time from 10 because I could do it. I just needed to run somewhere and get something real quick and then come back, and then it still took longer than I expected, like everything always does. Where is... Oh! Because I ran to the purple room, which is about 10 minutes away from my house. It's at my mom's house. Because she was kind enough to let me take over a portion of her house to do this stuff in. And one of the things that I got from there, theoretically, is my little force-armor thing, but now I don't see it, so that's awesome. So I'm wondering if that's what the noise I heard in my car was when I took a turn a little sharp. I wonder if it was that escaping from the bag and then like clattering around somewhere. But not that big a deal. Anyway. Yeah, me too. He's a little trooper. He's just like, my stomach doesn't feel good. I'm gonna throw up. And he just like went and stood in the bathroom and waited. He's very matter-of-fact little man. So as a sneak peek as to something that I am currently working on, because the Andabil 2026 grips came out. So I was able to grab one, and to my surprise, they apparently decided to copy OhSnap. Nope, focus on that, not on my face. Stop focusing on my face. We can do this, there we go. See, because before, this was last year's Andabil grip. God dang it, there we go. I have it set to only focus on eyes and face right now, so I have to like block that. There we go. So it's like, it's got the like straps, but they changed it to the plastic triangles like the OhSnap one was. Oh good, I'm glad you like your Snap 5. I know Angel, or is it Angel, or is it? I'll watch your stream. Is it like? I know you introduced yourself, but also my memory is terrible. Anyway, Angel run the Snap 4, And then he compared it to the Snap 5, and his kind of conclusions about the magnet strength were different than mine, which is one of the reasons that I have a new Snap 5. Because I managed to get my hand on one that doesn't have the Snap 4 wordage on the back. So I wanted to test that against a Snap 4 that I also have with my forceometer. And of course, now I don't see the Snap 4 or the forceometer. So, Omar, okay, yes, excellent. All right, well, I'm going to dip into the garage real quick. Let's see if... Also, my microphone is out of charge, so I had it plugged in. But I'm gonna dip in. Look at my awesome pants. And we are going to see if that is here. Or if I manage to leave the house without it, which would be on brand for me, if I'm being honest. There is a reason my other channel is focused on like YouTube content creation advice geared towards people with ADHD, because that is two things that are near and dear to my heart. Okay, so I don't see either of the things that I want right now, which makes me very unhappy. Kind of torpedoes my plans for the evening. What is going on? I had it. Aha. All right, well, there's the forceometer. Now I just need to find the OhSnap thing, which should be somewhere, hopefully, that I can find quickly. Oh, my dog's hanging out in my room. That's uncommon. Aha! Back of the phone case. What a sneaky place for a grip to be hiding. Yeah, first thing I did when I got this 4 was take all the adhesive off. All right, so yeah, because we're at what, 115 or 114. So man, my the iPhone casing that I put out is like one of my worst performing videos in a while. So I think I might be established as an Android content creator in the algorithm, which is fine. I don't need to be buying iPhone stuff. I don't own an iPhone. Awesome. My favorite part about these really thin grips is that I'll drop one and it'll just disappear. What did I drop? Andeville. OhSnap, Tango, EWA, Banks. Where's the Banks grip? I just dropped it. And now it's down there somewhere. In the no man's land underneath my desk. Well, it's not important right now. So yes, one of the things that I'm looking at putting together here pretty soon is a comparison not just between the 4 and the 5. I just dropped something else. I'm doing awesome. The 4 and the 5, but also the Andabil grips, which are also very thin. And then the Tango one, which a lot of reviewers really like, and I am sort of indifferent to, because you can't put your finger in that spring. And I very much like to passively hold my grips. So having to actively hold it like this, not a fan. That's why I don't like the pop socket. And then I've got the Banks, and that's kind of all of the ultra thin. That's true. The Andabil one, actually initially, way back when I first started, like with an eye towards doing reviews, I thought that the Andabil magnet was so strong that it scratched one of my cases, like when I was fiddling with it. But it was like a month later when it occurred to me that what probably happened is something got between the grip and the case, and that's what did it. It was actually the Spigen Tough armor. It scratched. So I had sent that back all mad because it scratched my case, and then realized that maybe it wasn't the grip's fault, and then tried to buy the grip again and couldn't find it. It was just impossible to get after that until like a week ago. But yes. All right, so I'm still rocking the D brand grip on my Fold because I think it might be my favorite, and I really need to actually shoot the review for it so I can put my adhesive on there and everything. Spoilers, it's either the D brand grip or the Nilkin, not the Karma Pop, what's it called? The Super Frosted Shield. Yeah, the Super Frosted Shield. Big fan of both of those cases. And then also, you know, I like the Banks Aramid Fiber one. The Nilkin Ice Blade one is the same as the Super Frosted Shield, except for it's clear. So, if I liked clear cases, that'd be one of my most favorite clear cases. And then, obviously, I also like the Spigen Thin Armor. So those are kind of like my top 4 Z Fold 7 cases, my personal top 4. All right, so the 4. There is a non-zero chance this is going to break one of these grips. Ooh, that is a terrible noise to hear back again through the headset. Okay. So the 4. $18. Not more than 18. I get much stronger numbers off of I think I showed this off in the in the Snap review how I have these MagSafe rings just stuck to the desk in the purple room. Those tend to, they hold on to things stronger than like cases do. So it's actually kind of dangerous to do this with that. That's why when I was doing it with the 4 in that review, I was like, I'm scared to pull it straight up because there's a good chance it'll break it. $19.4. So somewhere in the 18 to 19 Newton range. And that's fine. That's pretty good. Still decently above average. Average is like 14, or at least from my testing. All right, and with the 5, see, I had told you I was going to do this angel, and then I didn't want to do it until I had everything together, and also it was live stream time. Hey. It's a higher number as soon as it decides to focus. Stop looking at my face. 21.3. So it is actually coming in at higher strength. So yeah, I pulled it off and it went somewhere. Awesome. It's one of the problems also is, especially at night, my office is not super well lit. So I've got the camera lights, which light me very well, but everything down here, not a lot of light. Huh. I suppose I can just declare it the winner after one try. Oh. Did I stick back that back on there? I don't remember doing that. I am amazing sometimes. Whew. Yeah, this is much stronger than the one I sent back because it sucked. Because the one that I had before, the one that was in the review, the one that said it was the 4, what was it? I actually have the numbers. But I know it wasn't reaching no dang 30 newtons. Not even close. It was like 12 or 14, something like that. And that was on the straight, like to the table. Purple room. Let's see if I can do this on my first try. Not so much. So yeah, the like to dislike ratio on my OhSnap review is like the saltiest of all of mine so far. I think a lot of people are very defensive of, I'm gonna say, the girl who's in the commercials, to be honest, and that's fair. She is hilarious. Okay. This isn't helping. Browser source, no. How do I forget how to do this every time? Like, I just forget how to set up sources over and over. We're just going to capture that monitor. There we go. Ten newtons to pull it off. That was the old 5 I had. This one just did 30. So, like, yeah. No, at this point, you can't convince me something didn't go wrong with some of their initial batches. There is no way. Okay. Well, that is upsetting, to be honest. Oh yeah, my MCon is shipped. It is on its way to me. So yes, I will be reviewing the MCon, um, and I will go ahead and compare it to the backbone and the GameSir. I'm very tired, and one other controller. So we'll see how that goes. And of course, they get this batch shipped off, and like today mine shipped, and I think today they also announced like the development of the MCon Slim or something to that effect, which makes me very mad because like I know one of the draws of it, at least from the Kickstarter or whatever, was going to be something that you could have attached to your phone and just have it in your pocket. And looking at the thing, yeah, okay, if you have jeans from the 90s, that is guys' jeans from the 90s. That is very much a possibility. But if you have jeans from this century, it's not going to fit in there. Whereas, like, uh, even with my backbone and the game serves in the purple room right now, but yeah, okay, it makes my phone a little bit longer, but I can slip that right in my pocket, no problem. So I can just keep that attached. It's not a big deal. Yeah, the preliminary things I've seen, people seem to like it, but I've only sort of looked at a little bit. I try not to look at reviews of things I'm going to review, because otherwise, I don't know. Try not to let my perception of things be tainted, either in either direction, because I do like being a contrarian. That is for sure. All right, so that makes that discovery about the 5. That makes the need to make the slim grip comparison more urgent in my mind, just to get that information out there and sort of use it as kind of a correction to my initial review, which I stand by, but like, the heck? How is it so different? And I was looking on, because ever since I saw your review, I'm pointing up at the screen where your words are. That's how I'm going to refer to it. But ever since I saw your review, I've been kind of looking even more in depth into that, and trying to gather information about when people say that the magnets are weak or when they say they're strong, asking them, like, do they have the kind that on the back say it's the 4 or the 5. Somewhere, I want to say on the OhSnap Reddit, someone said they talked to customer service, and they're like, they said that they only reused like the internal components for the middle, but that had no bearing on anything else. So just think of it as like a collector's item. But I'm going to go ahead and call bull hockey on that, given what I have now seen and what I have gathered. Granted, it's not a very statistical, it's not a very, wow, whatever word it is I'm looking for, just significant. It's not a very significant sample size, but from the anecdotal stuff that I've gathered, all of the people who are like, oh, the magnets are so much weaker, have the ones that say a 4 on the back, and all the ones who don't have the ones that say 5. And actually, I don't remember, did I ask you this as well, Eric, or did you mention in the, like, in any comments at any point, like, do you have one that says 4 or 5, or it'll either say 4 on the back or it won't mention at all what version it is? Yeah, because this one, yeah, it doesn't say anything. The initial one I had said 4, and this one, like I showed earlier, but we can go ahead and look at that again. I don't have a face. Look at that. Come on. Oh, wow. Oh, I got within the focal range. Whoops, my bad. But yeah, you can see on there that it doesn't have any sort of mention of version at all on there. Whereas you can look at my initial review, and you'll see on there, like it says here on my 4, that it's a 4. And so far, everything that I've seen suggests that that's the case. And that's, again, the forest magnets are good, but they're not 30 newtons to pull off good. So that's interesting. Actually, that was another thing that was... Come on now. That was the other thing that was weird, right? It like had the opposite polarity on... Yeah. All right. There's not really a good way to do this. So we're just going to try not to knock anything over here. All right, that's the 5. Nothing. No opposite magnets pushing on each other or anything. Oh, there we go. So yeah, definitely something is fishy about their release. They obviously had something go wrong, and possibly like the first batch or some of the early batches or whatever just messed up. And that's wild. That is very interesting. And this is the kind of thing I love just trying to figure out. But that's kind of, I think I'm kind of at the end of my ability to research. But it's, I mean, it's good enough conclusions for me. The only thing I can say for, with any definitive like authority, is that there is a chance you will get one that sucks, and there is a chance you will get one that doesn't suck. So if you get one that sucks, return it and try again if you really want it. Tango. Bam. $28.4. That's some good stuff. The Anvil one, I'm having trouble. It wants to interfere with my bezel. It is right up on it. I should turn off the autofocus. 20, 21, somewhere in there. So, not terrible. Now the new Anvil. Yeah. And now I kind of wish I knew where the banks was, since I didn't really think I was going to go through and do them all. But if I am, I kind of want to know where the banks one went. Oh, I see it. Out. I'm okay. If it hasn't become readily apparent, I told you. It's got a muted button. I just learned something new. Or was reminded of something that I should have remembered, but my memory is terrible. Hey, also, welcome. So, thus far, just to catch you up, we have established that the OhSnap 5 has some that suck, which apparently the one that I reviewed was one of, because I have a newer one, or one that doesn't say it's the 4 on the back, and not only does it not have that reverse polarity magnet thing going on where I can like push it around with the magnets, but also like 3 times as much force to pull it off of something, which is, it puts it among some of the stronger attached to a case magnets I've seen on a grip, which is impressive. And now I'm just kind of going through and seeing. The Banks was 20. That's not bad. And then, of course, this is the one I'm always talking about. The EWA Ultra mag plate. Also, is that not a satisfying noise? The metal on metal. It's wonderful. The only problem here, especially with the Z Fold 7, is once again, and this happens with the ones with the stands that kind of fold over, is they tend to get in the way of the bezel. So, work much better on the 25 Ultra than the Z Fold 7, that's for sure. So, 18 on that. So all of these are clocking in higher than average as far as a lot of MagSafe accessories are concerned. So they're all good on the magnets, but the 5 won, whereas the 5 I had before was appreciably worse than all of those. Are we talking about the EWA? Can you put the stand hinge towards the bottom of the phone instead of the camera bump? If I put the hinge towards the bottom of the phone instead of the bump, like that, I can. It's there. But it does, when I open it and close it again, it does kind of graze the bezel. And that is sort of the issue. But I can push it in. But it's definitely right there. And that is the same thing happens with the Animal ones. And their stand is a lot thinner, a lot flimsier. Let's see here. Whoop. Oops. Are we back? Did that fix it? There we go. Some cases have that opening towards the bottom. Yes. I am a big fan of the cases that have decided to do that. And unfortunately, I haven't found one where the rest of the case is good. Like, honestly, there is a drop shift clear case that has that kind of sloped cutout at the bottom of the camera thing. Ortec is one of the companies that has it. I can't think of any others off the top of my head, but you'll find a bunch of them on Amazon. If you just look through clear cases, you'll find one particular style that like is under 10 different names because it's a drop shipped case. So little drop shipping companies have them, which, questionable whether or not those are ever good. And I can't emphasize this enough. Never ever get a drop shipped aramid fiber case unless you already know that it's aramid fiber, because there's a good chance that it's just plastic with the aramid fiber print on it. But there's a clear case, and I think that's the best sloped one I've seen. Like UAG is one that I reviewed here on the channel, and that was a huge disappointment. I bet somewhere in the deep, deep pockets of my unedited raw footage, there's probably a better one. It's very upsetting. The Taurus iPhone review I just did made me want, because I have the Taurus cases for the Z Fold 7 that I have raw footage for that I never ever put out. I recorded these back in September, which would be before the first video ever launched on this channel. So it was, we're talking, I recorded this before I even started like kind of getting feedback on the videos or feeling like I was improving or anything like that. And I just look at it, it makes me sad, but I should put it out. It's the iBlazin. Oh, iBlazin is the sister company to Subcase. So if you ever want a UB Beetle type case, but don't like UB Beetle what it looks like, whatever word I'm looking for there. iBlazin is the same company under a different name that releases normal looking cases that are essentially the UB grips, except for they don't look like they look like normal cases instead of like UB grips. So that was an interesting thing I learned like forever ago. All right. The only other news I really have is that the power bank testing is still ongoing. It is a long process and annoying. I don't like it. Just because it takes so long, because I have to drain the phone before I can test the next battery. And fortunately, I have two phones to do this with, but that's still just a lot of straight up time. So I've been like trying to figure out what apps drain batteries the fastest, and I've been like leaving my controllers plugged into the phone because that drains the battery faster too, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's still just taking forever. And then like half the time I forget to log something and then I have to do it again, or I forget to write down when I started it so I don't have the numbers right, so I have to do it again. So this is what I've been dealing with in my free time. This is what I do for fun. A matte one for the Z Fold 7 with the camera cut out like that. Oh, baby monitor up. That'll make sense. But yeah, like I'll like set up mobile hotspots and make sure it's connected to like 3 or 4 different Bluetooth things, and have the like a battery draining app running that has the camera running and keeps the screen on. It makes the phone vibrate, etc., etc., etc. So 5 months, huh? God, that's you're. We gotten sitting up yet? Because you're either right there or coming up on it. Oh, good tip. Good tip. But yeah, and then the phone's dead. I'm keeping it off, and it's even harder to tell whether or not it's getting Qi 1 or Qi 2 or what through MagSafe. And it turns out, fun thing that I've learned is that just because something can get Qi 2 with a charger doesn't necessarily mean it's going to get it with the power bank. So when it really comes down to it, MagSafe charging, I think, was designed to make me insane. Pretty sure. Like this thing. It just doesn't work with Android stuff. Or at least it doesn't work with either my 25 Ultra or the Z Fold 7. Now I can't remember if it worked with my wife's 25 or not. But it works with the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Just, yeah. Yeah, and that's the funny thing about the Z Fold 7 is like they showed the dimensions for where the coil is like a week before the phone launched. So many cases were already in production and had it wrong. This is, yes, 100% true. To be honest, for how absolutely bonkers I am about trying to get to the bottom of it, I charge wirelessly very infrequently. Um, I'm trying to remember, like, when. It's pretty much only when I want my phone up on a stand looking at me and charging at the same time. That's when I'll use one of these to hold it up and point it at me and charge it. Because even like in the car, I've got one of these MagSafe chargers, but I run the wire directly into the phone. I don't bother plugging into the puck. Yeah, it's faster and it your phone doesn't get as hot. So a little bit safer. But still stuff that people should know. I feel like things should work the way they say. And if they don't, people need to know that they don't work the way they say. And that's why I go absolutely insane trying to figure it out. Yeah. I had I had high hopes for this one because it's got it up there, but no. This one was not good. Although it did fit on the Z Fold 7 around the camera bezel just fine because of the fact that it wasn't flat. And then of course you've got the Ridge one. It's raised, but it didn't work at all. Um, and then just like some random ones worked really well. And then of course Anchor is just like ours work great. Like yeah, cool, thanks Anchor. You're always good. It's almost kind of boring. Get over yourself. I think you asked, or someone asked, and I can't justify it. I, I mean, how I justified getting, how I justified in getting the Z Fold 7 when I already had the 25 Ultra is still very impressive. Um, and that was partly because I essentially got it for free, or at least mostly free, because I had an extra phone sitting around to be able to trade in for it, and adding another line to my plan caused all the other lines to be discounted the same amount the new line would add, so it didn't add any more money to my bill. So I think I paid $8 extra a month for another an entirely extra phone and also another line. So I did that. But yeah, I don't think I can justify getting the trifold when it comes out over here. Plus, I mean, it's three folds. Would I ever be able to go back? I don't even know. Man, I've got so much stuff I can't justify for me, but I own it anyway. Most of the stuff in this room, to be honest. All right. Yeah. So yeah, coming up, I promised someone I'd do the review of the D brand grip for the Z Fold 7. So I'll probably go ahead and get that knocked out here pretty soon. I'm gonna keep my eye on this iPhone thing I did, because I do have a couple other iPhone like raw footage things in the bin, but if Apple people aren't coming, I'm not gonna bother. It's fine. I it takes some stuff off of my mental plate. Yeah, I know I've got the nice bokeh going on, but like all that stuff back there, that's all either amiibos or keyboards. What else is back there? Some board games, nerd stuff. This room isn't this room isn't set up to be shot in, but I'm shooting in it anyway because I don't care. Yeah, I've heard really good things about the I don't know how to pronounce it. Huawei. Yeah, I just got the Keychron Q6 Max, and I think this is what I'm landing on. I'm not going to build one. I definitely don't need to get that sort of. I don't need to go down that rabbit hole. Not even a little bit. Now I want a mechanical keyboard that I like, and whereas before I wanted clicky keys, while I still kind of want clicky keys, I tested to see what it sounded like in the stream, and it was extremely loud and annoying. So now I want the ones that are tactile but aren't clicky. And I needed to replace my old keyboard anyway, because the escape key sort of doesn't work most of the time. So, nice. Yeah, I don't know if you've taken a good hard look at the what's in the background of the purple room. You can see it a lot better in some of the earlier videos, the random Nintendo stuff. Yeah, I've watched some videos about that phone, and it's pretty nice. So I'm not big on linear. I like having a little bit of the bump. I like having the bump. So I like the tactile keys a bit better. I don't know if that's just because I'm old, and I remember what it was like typing on like the Apple IIc keyboard and stuff like that. But I like clock, 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 clock. But yeah, if you look around the purple room, you can see like there's a there's a Yarn Yoshi amiibo. Depending on how much of the shot shows some of the upper shelves, which doesn't happen that often. But if it ever does kind of tilt up there, you'll see like the Super Scope sticks. Yeah, stuff like that. I'm very much a Nintendo kid. I lived through the console rollers. I gotta say, having the power bank just kind of dangling off of my headset like this looks ridiculous. Especially since it's this bright Dayglow orange. It's just, that's very on brand for me. Yeah, yeah, let me tell you, my kids started off loving Sonic, and it broke my heart. It broke. I was trying so hard, like Mario and Kirby, just, and they like see Sonic on Netflix and they love Sonic because Sonic goes fast, and I'm like, you're all dead to me. Like, but they're coming around. Pikmin is, I think, sucking them into the Nintendo kind of, and Mario Party and Mario Kart. Now they're starting to really like Mario Kart, so good stuff. The Nintendo 64 is one of the best consoles like ever. Just straight up. Original Smash Brothers, GoldenEye, bunch of the just random 64, like Mario 64 was revolutionary. Yeah, the original Smash Brothers, I want to say, came out when I was like 15 or 16. It was good times. It's just like the perfect age for a game like that to come out. Yeah. Yeah, Ocarina of Time, like, yeah, the 64 is so good. The Cube was really good too. Like, big fan of the Cube. Um, like, really, it was just the Wii U as far as main consoles. It was kind of like, eh. And even then, I loved the Wii U. Like, the Wii U gave us Splatoon and one of my favorite Smash Brothers. Yes. All right. Well, I am going to call an end to this because as much as I would love to just sit around and talk Nintendo all night, um, I got like an hour of sleep last night. And also, if I do another like 2 hour plus stream, my wife will get upset with me because she watches it all. I don't know why. I guess because of love. But it took her like a week to watch like 2.5 hour long stream. Yes. And that's another reason I love the little controllers that attach to the phones. That's why, yeah. I think if you're going to use a controller with the Z Fold 7, it needs to either be the GameSir Lite, because it has the USB thing on the left side, so it folds up. And I know I've mentioned this like a billion times, but it lets the thing fold up. Either that or use a Bluetooth controller, because when it folds down, it's dumb. It just, like, I was so sad because I got the Backbone before I had the Z Fold 7. I used it with the 25 Ultra, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And then I got the Z Fold 7, I plugged it in, it's folded down. I'm like, well, that's, Yeah, I'm not good at sleeping. Like, I'm very bad at it. All right. Well, thank you all for showing up. At the pace, we'll be giving out something uh, next week. I think. Let's see. We just gave away at 100, so I think now is a good time. We're just gonna go ahead and officially put the threshold at every 25, because then we're doing nice step ups. So 125, 150, 175, 200, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what we'll do going forward from here. And probably going to be the minimum. I could maybe see myself lowering it to 20, but that would probably not be until we hit 200. Just because I like my round divisible by tens numbers. Oh yeah. Yeah, I will probably the next one will come out sometime this weekend. It didn't actually occur to me that I let like 8 days go in between actual reviews, and that's because I tricked myself with a short, trying to drive traffic towards the Aramid Fiber one, just on occasion. Just be like, I'm going to chop one of the little reviews off and have a point toward that and see if I can drive any traffic there. And so far, the answer is pretty much no. All it does is artificially inflate my views for like a period of time, however long it shows it in the YouTube studio. And I'm like, oh wow, I did really good right there. And oh yeah, that was a short I put out. All right, I will see you cats later. End stream. My stream will stop immediately and you will no longer be live. End.